Welcome back to another video, guys. And yes, I quit sports betting. After years of sports betting and after losing money to finding strategies that work and actually making money, I'm quitting sports betting. But why? My answer could actually change your perspective on sports betting, but it will actually educate you on sports betting. Not everyone understands that you can actually be profitable in sports betting. And when I'm meaning profitable, I'm not meaning make money. I'm actually meaning the money you put in is going to be less than the money you take out. So the money that you withdraw has to be greater than the money that you deposited into that sports betting website. Okay. So if we look at, you go to your settings and we actually look at how much did you deposit and how much did you withdraw. When I'm saying you can actually be profitable, I'm meaning that this is significantly higher than how much you deposited. Okay. And people don't actually understand that. People know you can actually make money, but people don't actually understand deeply that you can be profitable, and most people aren't. I'd say 90. I've actually read a stat that only 5% of sports bettors are actually profitable. 5%. That's not a lot compared to the 95%. So I've been actually profitable, not only making money, but actually profitable. And you could ask me then why you leaving. And I'm going to be honest, you can't be profitable. You can't be profitable, and but I've been hammering this away that the only way to be profitable is to use the same meds that they're tricking you with, use the same meds to actually be profitable. So you can't just be profitable by looking at the form, looking at how this team is playing and just betting. No. By betting like that, you're already losing money, okay? Because you're losing the edge. But let's take a step back from that. This is not a lesson. I'm not teaching you guys about positive value. I'm not teaching you about edge. I'm teaching you about the mindset. I'm teaching you about the psychology. If you can actually make this a side hustle, if this can actually be your job. I don't think the normal people, the people watching me, can. And I'm not thrashing you. I'm not saying you're not smart enough. I'm not saying, all of that. You could always try. I'm not telling you not to try. Go out there, actually. Be like me. Experience it for yourself. Learn, actually just try and obsess on becoming profitable. Maybe you're going to come back with different answers than me. But once you take a step back, the only way you can be profitable is if you have stone cold discipline, stone cold psychology, okay? And you have a winning strategy, okay? So when I'm talking about a winning strategy, people think I'm talking about corners. People think I'm talking about a market. I'm not talking about a market in sports betting, okay? I'm talking about a strategy. So a strategy can either be arbitrage, sports betting, positive value, or middling. All of those strategies, there are many more strategies. Those are based on mathematical models, okay? Using mathematical models, you can always be profitable. And remember, profit does not mean winning money. It means, and once you're a professional sports bettor, you always work with ROI, which is return on investment, okay? It will be unit per stake. It will be, units profit, the amount of profit you get per unit. So all of that, in order for you to be profitable, okay, you need stone cold discipline, psychology. And that's where I think people will like. That's where I like. That's where, that's the huge bridge that I think people that actually, make money out of this consistently. Tipster Charlie. This guy gives, very transparent. His only job is sports betting and being a sports investor. So how you can do it, the only way you can do it is to be stone cold. Stone cold in your discipline, stone cold in your psychology. And that's where these sports betting websites and companies have gotten their gotten the market so correctly, because most people that sports bet, they so attached to their money. It's mostly people that actually need the money. Okay, so you don't just sports bet for fun. Most people that sports bet, they actually want the money. They actually could actually use the money that they win there. And once you attach to the money, you won't invest, or you won't, the same way traders and invest make money, you won't be able to get that because you're so invested in it. Okay, once you start losing, okay, that's when you get emotional and you start betting more, you're trying to get more of your money. Okay, so this is, I won't go into all the psychologies, but is your psychology in the right mindset? Okay, and it's hard to be in the right mindset once you don't have enough money. Once your money you're using is quite small, it's less than, it's less than, in South African terms, it's less than 5,000 rand. Okay, and you might think that's a lot of money, but it's not really a lot of money once you want to be profitable and actually use the money and actually make significant money each and every month. Being profitable, not winning. Anyone can win, but being profitable, that's being hard each and every month, knowing that, okay, I'm going to get this amount of money. Being profitable is the question. Can you be profitable with 5,000 rand and less in your bankroll, in sports betting bankroll? That's very hard, because using unit stakes and using, risk management, same way traders and investors use risk management, you use the risk management here, because this, at the end of the day, is speculative trading. Okay, you're speculating whether a probability will happen. So all of these fall under one roof. Okay, but the reason why this one doesn't bear enough fruit in terms of people that are successful and people that make a lot of money is, one, these sports bookies are a company. They're a business at the end of the day. They don't want you to win. And I have so many stories. Actually, this past 2 weeks, I've been struggling with withdrawing because these companies don't want you to withdraw, even though they may say in the ads, "Oh, win this, I win this." They don't want you to withdraw. If every person was profitable there, where would they be getting their money to run their website? Where would they be getting the money to run these promotions? Nowhere. This is the business at the end of the day, and I will teach you guys how they actually make money. Even when you guys guess correctly and you get money, they still make money out of there. They use math models. They hire people for more than 100,000 rand a month, just to make sure that they stay profitable, just to make sure they play with your mindset. Okay, that bonus they put there, saying when you add each and every bet, you get this percentage amount of bonus. That's not for you. That's not for to give back to charity. No, it's not. It's a psychological vice. Okay, they want you to put, once you see, okay, it's increasing by this, it's increasing by this, it's increasing by this, you're more likely to put money. And they hire people that are just stupid smart. I could dare say smarter than Albert Einstein. Okay, to make sure that mathematically they never lose money, even when you guys, let's say 100,000 people guess on one game and they all win, they will still make money, even though they won't make as much money as they need to, cover their costs, but they'll still make money, which is the juice or the edge. Okay, but let me digress. I'm now teaching you guys about the technicals. Okay, let me continue saying. So the reason with me why I'm quitting is that I don't have the stone cold discipline, stone cold psychology. When I have less than 5,000 rand. Okay, so when you have less than 5,000 rand, it's so much harder to actually make money than when you have more. Okay, and I know I can grow my bankroll to 18,000 rand. I have no doubt in my mind that I can use these positive value sports betting models and actually get to 18,000 rand diversified in my sports betting bookies. Not don't always keep one thing in one, but the question is, how long will that take me? Okay, if I take a step back, I've been on this for so long, and the amount of things I've learned in terms of sports betting, how the odds are made, why they do these, why do they offer promotions, how to take it, how to use the promotions to actually, be profitable. All of these I've been studying, and they actually work. They actually work. But for you to start at this with no additional capital, for you to start at this to actually grow your bankroll to a desired amount, okay? Because once you have that, let's say I grow my bankroll to around 30,000 rand. Okay, it's not 30,000 rand in one bookie. Okay, it's diversified. Okay, and let's say at one bookie it's capped at 8,000 rand. And you don't want to make it too much that the bookies, they're constantly hovering over your account, because once they see someone having 8,000 rand, of course they're going to be, they're always going to check how much money are you going to take away from them. Okay, so you want to diversify your bankroll to multiple bookies. And then the huge key is diversify to betting exchanges. Okay, and most people, they don't know betting exchanges, but that's where profitable and professional people make their money, because a betting exchange is a market. You're not betting with the company now. You're not betting with Betway. It's the market. You're betting against other bettors. So the only way you make money out of other people losing money, same way traders make money. So now it's actually easier to be profitable there because it's straight. The bookies are not playing psychological vices on you. The bookies are not adding edge. So the odds are going to be much cleaner, although it's more complex than the stock market and the trading market. It's the only way you can actually be profitable, without the bookies giving you problems, because I haven't even reached my desired account, but the bookies have been giving me problems. I had a video where I explained I got banned, and once these bookies see you actually using these mathematical based models, they won't want you to continue. They're gonna limit your account. There's so many people that have been limited, professional and the profitable people out there. There's definitely people that are profitable and professional that these bookies, they know them. Once they see, okay, this is the IP address that Charlie uses, and Charlie, we know he uses sports betting models, because they will see this is a multi-million-dollar companies. They there's hundreds of thousands of workers that rely on that company to be able to feed their family, and 8 out of 10, those workers earn more money than you watching this video. So you're battling against a company that doesn't want you to win. Okay, you may see those promotions saying, win this, win this. They don't want you to win. That's how they get their money, promoting. They spend millions of dollars on persuasion. They spend millions of dollars on advertising. Why do they do this? They hire people that will make them money in the long term. So it's practically, I don't want to say impossible because anything is possible, but is it actually smart to actually start your first vehicle on how to make money to be sports betting with bookies at that fact? Okay, it would have been understandable if you were using betting exchanges to start off, but using bookies at that, I don't think it's smart. There's much smarter ways to actually accumulate wealth than just sports betting first. Okay, especially if you don't already have the source of income, maybe a job, maybe a hustle that's already working, or you don't have a lot of capital to start off and just invest it, because this is actually investing. This is like trading. This is like investors that invest in stocks, invest in companies. You're speculating on probability. You're not betting on Man City. You're betting on the probability. How likely is Man City to win? So, is it smart? I took a step back. I was looking at the amount of time I was spending on, using these math-based models, on actually tracking my bets, on actually, looking back and actually how can I improve? How can I improve here? Because that's the only way you can actually be profitable. And the amount of time I was spending there was far too much for the amount of money I realistically was gonna receive, like let's say in a 3 months period. So what am I gonna do now? What am I gonna do now? I've always been an entrepreneur, and you guys could join. I'm starting an agency. Have started an agency for a while, but now I'm doing it publicly, and I'm gonna track my journey same way I was tracking my journey here with sports betting. So if you guys want to join that journey, you can subscribe to my channel, which will just be Stampo. I'm not leaving here forever. I'm just reducing the amount of time I spend here. So I won't be spending. I'm gonna be spending like less than a half of the time I was spending on sports betting. I'm just gonna be sports betting for to just increase my money a little bit. Of course, I'm not gonna be gaining as much money as I would if I just focused on it, because I'll be less bets using the model. Okay, equals less money. One. So now I'm gonna be spending most of my money mastering the craft of my AI agency, and then just with additional time, I'll just do those. I'll do very few bets, but bets that are full of quality. Okay, so very quality filled, positive value bets. Then hopefully in a month or two, I just do arbitrage all the way. So then it's guaranteed profit. But then I have enough capital from my agency to actually see the money actually go through. Okay, so I actually do 1 or 2 arbitrage bets, a day, and actually see a lot of money. So the amount of money I would make is, stupid once I actually integrate my agency, the revenue and the profit I make from my agency all the way here to the arbitrage, hopefully in 2 months. So if you guys want to join the journey, you can subscribe to my channel. I'll have a link in the description and also in the comments. And then yes, I'm not going to stop posting here. I'm definitely going to continue posting, continue teaching you guys. A video I have planned out is the guide to positive value sports betting, how to actually master sports betting and actually be profitable using mathematics. So do stay tuned. Thank you for 1,000 subscribers.